Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into a pretty fascinating development. Thailand's legalization of same-sex marriage.
Yeah, it's a pretty big news, huh? Not just for Thailand, but for all Southeast Asia.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the first country in the region to take this step, and it's got everyone talking, especially, about the potential ripple effects.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, economically, socially, politically, there's a lot to unpack here.
Totally. And that's what we're here for, right? To really dig into the nuances of this groundbreaking move.
Definitely. I'm really excited to see where this conversation takes us.
Me too. So to guide us through this deep dive, we're turning to a blog post by, well, he's basically a political insider. Right.
Yeah, he's worked closely with policymakers, I think, so he's got some pretty interesting insights on the whole situation.
Right, and he really digs into the law itself, its implications, especially this whole soft power angle.
Oh, yeah, that's fascinating stuff. You know, the idea that countries can wield influence not through force, but through their culture, values, and policies.
Exactly. Like, think about how everyone loves Thai food.
Oh, absolutely. Pad Thai, green curry, mango sticky rice.
Right, it's like instantly recognizable, and it makes you think of Thailand in a positive light. It's delicious diplomacy, I guess you could say.
I love that delicious diplomacy. It's so true, though. And, that's just one example. Think about K-pop. That's South Korea's soft power in action, right? Or Japanese anime. These things have a global reach and really shape perceptions.
Totally. And Thailand, they're already pros at this. Their vibrant festivals, their booming entertainment industry, it all contributes to this image of Thailand as, this welcoming, exotic, and culturally rich destination.
Definitely. And this new law, it kind of adds another layer to that, right? It projects this image of Thailand as progressive, open-minded, and accepting.
Exactly. Especially when you consider the regional context. I mean, Thailand is the first, like we said, in Southeast Asia, and only the third in Asia overall to legalize same-sex marriage.
That's huge. It puts them in a unique position to attract tourists, investment, talent, all from countries where LGBTQ plus rights are, still lagging behind.
For sure. So it's not just about, social progress for its own sake. It's also, well, let's be honest, a pretty shrewd economic move.
Yeah, the source definitely seems to think so. He's really bullish on the potential economic benefits, especially for the tourism industry.
Oh, yeah. He even throws out a figure, like a 0.3% GDP boost, just from the influx of tourists.
Wow. And, there's historical precedent for this. Other countries that have legalized same-sex marriage often see a bump in tourism, investment, you name it.
It makes sense, right? People want to spend their money in places that align with their values. They want to feel safe, welcome, seen.
Absolutely. And it's not just about feeling good. It's about feeling like you belong, like you're a valued part of the community.
Right. And this law, it goes beyond just symbolism. It's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, it's not just some empty gesture. It comes into effect, what is it, January 23rd, 2025?
That's right. And it allows same-sex couples to actually register their marriage, both within Thailand and at Thai embassies worldwide.
So equal rights, equal recognition, equal protection under the law. It's a big deal.
Huge. And to make it even more official, it's already been published in the Royal Gazette, which is like their official legal record.
Yeah.
And it has royal assent, from the king himself.
So it's like the real deal, going back on this, it shows a level of commitment from the highest levels of government, which I think is really significant.
Absolutely. And, our source breaks it down even further, the potential benefits across various sectors: accommodation, food and beverage, shopping, domestic travel. It's all there.
It really does paint this picture of Thailand becoming a hub, like a destination wedding spot for same-sex couples, especially from neighboring countries where, where it's not legal.
Yeah, that's a fascinating point. It's like Thailand is stepping into this leadership role, almost providing this haven for LGBTQ plus people in the region.
It's a powerful image, for sure, and it's a testament to how a single policy can have this, domino effect, It can spark change, create opportunities, and reshape the landscape on so many levels.
Totally. But let's get a bit more specific. The source throws out some pretty impressive numbers. He estimates that this law could attract an additional 4 million international tourists per year.
Whoa, that's a lot of people. And, think about what that means for the economy. It's not just about honeymoons either, right? If you're a same-sex couple and you can't get married in your own country, wouldn't you be more inclined to vacation somewhere that recognizes your relationship and offers you the same rights?
Makes sense. It's like voting with your wallet, choosing to support businesses and economies that align with your values. And remember, this goes beyond tourism. Increased investment is another huge factor.
Oh, for sure. Companies, investors, they're looking for locations that are stable, progressive, and inclusive. And Thailand, with this move, is sending a clear signal that they're open for business and ready to embrace a more diverse future.
It's amazing how much impact a single piece of legislation can have, isn't it?
It really is. But, I feel like we've only just scratched the surface here. There's so much more to explore.
Totally. Like, what else does our source highlight about the potential impact, both domestically and internationally? And what are the challenges?
Yes, because there are always challenges with something this big, right? Like, how do you make sure this law isn't just, words on paper, but actually translates into real meaningful change for people's lives?
Exactly. There's always more to this story. So let's dig in.
Well, one of the first things he brings up is communication. Like, it's not enough to just pass the law.
Right. Got to spread the word.
Exactly. The government really needs to actively promote this, like both at home and abroad, if they want to see it succeed.
That makes total sense. You got to reach everyone, potential tourists, investors, and of course, your own citizens.
Yeah, and domestically, he emphasizes the importance of, education.
Education, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like integrating LGBTQ plus inclusive curriculums in schools.
Oh, wow. Yeah, starting young, huh?
Right, to combat prejudice and foster acceptance from a young age.
I mean, yes, if this generation grows up with this law as the norm, it could really, fundamentally shift societal attitudes in the long run.
Exactly. But then there's also the question of reaching those who, maybe aren't as open to change.
Right, the people who might be a bit more set in their ways.
Yeah, how do you change hearts and minds that might be resistant to this kind of shift?
It's a tough one. What does he suggest?
Well, he suggests public awareness campaigns.
Okay, so getting the message out there.
Yeah, but campaigns that really highlight the positive impact of the law, not just economically, but socially too.
Okay, so kind of showcasing the win-win aspect.
Exactly, like showcasing stories of same-sex couples, emphasizing their contributions to society, and just framing this as a win for Thailand as a whole.
Right, as it is, ultimately.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Moving beyond just tolerance and really pushing for acceptance and celebration.
Love that. So that's on the home front, but what about internationally? How can they really leverage this law to boost Thailand's image?
Oh, he's got some ideas for that too. He proposes a two-pronged approach.
Okay, two-pronged, I like it. Lay it on me.
Okay, so first, a robust international PR campaign specifically targeting the LGBTQ plus community.
Okay, so tailoring the message.
Right. Showcasing Thailand as this welcoming and inclusive destination.
Smart. I mean, you see it all the time, right? Like those Find Your Fab Thailand wedding ads online.
Exactly. Appealing to a specific demographic with tailored messaging, it's marketing 101, really.
It's effective, though. But it's not just about attracting tourists, right?
No, definitely not. The second part of his strategy focuses on, he calls it cultural diplomacy.
Cultural diplomacy, okay.
Yeah, like partnering with international LGBTQ plus organizations, influencers,
Oh, so bringing in those authentic voices.
Exactly. To spread the word and amplify Thailand's message of inclusivity.
Makes sense. It's like coming from the community, it just carries more weight. It feels way more genuine than some government-sponsored ad campaign.
It's about building that credibility and trust.
Totally. And he doesn't stop there. He even suggests, exploring the possibility of hosting major LGBTQ plus events.
Oh, yeah, like World Pride.
World Pride, that would be huge.
Right. Imagine the global spotlight that would bring to Thailand, really solidifying its position as a leader in the region for LGBTQ plus rights.
It would be a massive statement, not just for tourism, but also, for putting pressure on neighboring countries to kind of re-examine their own stance on same-sex marriage.
Yeah, the ripple effect could be huge, but he also acknowledges that, laws alone aren't enough.
Right, laws are just the first step.
Yeah, real change happens at the individual level, too.
Okay, so what does that look like? What can individuals do?
Well, he stresses the importance of everyday actions, like challenging prejudice when you encounter it.
Calling it out, yeah.
Exactly. Being an ally to the LGBTQ plus community, creating a culture where everyone feels safe and respected, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity.
So, going beyond the legal framework and making sure those values of inclusivity and equality are woven into the fabric of Thai society.
Right. And that's a long-term process, a cultural shift that requires sustained effort from everyone.
A marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. And he ends his blog post with a call to action, urging readers to really think about what role they can play in supporting this change.
This is about personal responsibility, too.
Yeah, like it's a powerful reminder that even small actions can contribute to creating a more just and equitable world.
That's a great point to end on. It's easy to get caught up in the economics of it all, but ultimately, this is about human rights.
Absolutely. Creating a world where everyone can live authentically and love freely.
It's really got me thinking, especially about something our source keeps coming back to, that whole idea of spreading the word about this new law.
Oh, yeah, totally. He's like, it's got to be more than just words on paper, right? It needs to be like woven into the fabric of Thai society.
Yeah.
Projected outwards to the world.
Yeah, and he actually poses a question to his readers, to us, really.
Yeah.
He asks, what strategies do you think would be most effective in achieving this goal? And what role can individuals play in supporting this cultural shift?
Whoa. It's a big question, isn't it? It makes you really stop and think.
It does. I mean, what are your thoughts? What's resonated with you most throughout this whole deep dive?
Well, I think for me, it's that reminder that progress isn't just something you watch happen, It's something you actively participate in.
Yeah, you got to be in the game.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's challenging those discriminatory attitudes when you see them, supporting LGBTQ plus organizations, or even just like educating yourself and others about the issues.
Basically, putting in the work.
Yeah, because real change requires action, right? Not just words.
I think this whole conversation has been so inspiring, It feels like we're witnessing a real turning point.
Totally. Not just for Thailand, but for the whole region, maybe even the world.
Yeah, who knows what kind of ripple effects this could have.
It's a testament to, I think, just human resilience and advocacy.
And the pursuit of, a more just and loving society for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It gives me hope, Like, even when things seem tough, positive change is possible.
That's a good reminder.
Oh.
And it underscores the importance of staying, informed, engaged, committed to the fight for equality.
All of the above, for sure. And I think on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Thailand's move towards marriage equality.
It really has been fascinating. Thank you so much for joining me for this conversation.
It was my pleasure. Always great to chat with you.
And to all of you listening out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep striving for a world where everyone can live authentically and love freely.